This is the DX6i. It's a really good beginner transmitter and a lot of people have it. This is the tiny whoop. It's really popular these days and a lot of people have the DX6i but don't know how to get their tiny whoop into Acro mode using it. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. To begin, you're going to need to turn on your transmitter and go into your tiny whoop model. Next, what you're going to need to do is go into the adjust list and select the flaps option. Under the normal row and flap column, you're going to change the value to -20. It must be -20 or it's not going to function properly. Go back to list. Now I recommend taking a test flight to make sure that your Acro mode works properly. Let's plug it in. In order to make sure that your Acro mode works properly, you're going to need to look underneath the camera and find the blue light. When you move the flap switch down and back up, the blue light should go from blue to red. That's how you know Acro mode is engaged. Here's the tiny whoop. It's ready in Acro mode. Please note I am using the stock motors rather than the race editions or the insane ones, so mine will be a little slow, but here is the test of Acro mode. As you can see, there is no more leveling. It is much more agile and difficult. But in the next segment, we're going to show you how to increase the rates and add some expo to make your flying a little more fun and easy. In this section, we're going to show you how to change the rates on the tiny whoop in Acro mode using travel adjustments. Turn on your radio and you're still in your tiny whoop model, so what you're going to do is go under travel ADG, which is travel adjustments. Now you can move the sticks back and forth, and you can see on the aileron right here a little arrow moving back and forth. In case you never used travel adjustments, this on a servo would make the servo move farther, and it can do the same with the motors on the tiny whoop. So what I'm going to do, because I'm using the stock motors and they don't have very fast response time, so I'm going to up this to 125, which is the maximum. I'm going to do it the same on both sides. I'm going to do that for the elevator, both directions as well, but just for demonstration, I'm going to move this down to 50 and move this up to 25. I didn't add expo to my whoop, but it's really easy to do. To initialize Acro mode, it's the same sequence, down, up, the blue light goes off, let's take off. As you can see, there's no stabilization, and when I go backwards on the elevator, it's really slow, and when I go forwards, it's really fast. That's because I set the elevator backwards to 50 in travel adjustments. So now there's only one thing left to do. That's to up the elevator backwards travel adjustment and plug in the FPV goggles. We have good video. Let's take off. Because I'm using the stock motors, the flying is not very stable, but it's still really fun to go fast around the house. As you can see, even with the stock motors, it's still really agile. Now that the tiny whoop is in Acro mode, I can now do flips and rolls. It adds a whole nother dimension to the flying and adds a ton of fun. The process that we use today to activate Acro mode is the same for pretty much all other Blade micro products, such as the Nano QX and Blade Glimpse. It may be a little bit different, but it's the same general idea and will be really easy to figure out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for coming.